Alrighty, guys. Butte, Montana. The dealership called me and they want me to bring the truck on in. This is Tuesday. I got in on Thursday and they're seeing me on Tuesday. Technically 2 days before when she thought she'd be able to see the truck in. The dude I went to yesterday, he didn't feel comfortable working on the truck because he didn't have the right code reader, and the code reader he had didn't get specific enough. And he says, I don't want to just start throwing parts at it and not being able to really know how, if what I do fixes it, and if it doesn't, then we'll just be throwing parts at it, and I really don't want to do that. And I respected that, and I appreciated him for that, and I thanked him. I told him, look, I can see that you don't feel comfortable doing that, and I appreciate that, and I thank you for your honesty, because some people would just be like, yeah, let's do this, and this. And so I had a code come on yesterday about my exhaust filter thingy almost full. I'm like, what? That's a thing? And then it says, please drive around so we can regenerate. And I'm like, okay. So there was another dealership in Anaconda, which is about 30 miles away. So I drove over there to see if they could get me in sooner. And they were closed by the time I got there. And by the time I got back to Butte, the vehicle had finished regenerating. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So because I've been having to idle in the heat, I decided, you know what? I need to just get a motel. Bite the bullet, get a motel. That way I don't have to idle in the heat. And so we got a room. I slept till noon. Mind you, the girls had me up at 8 for a potty break. And then we went back to bed and slept till noon. I haven't done that in a minute, so that was nice. I guess I'm still recovering from my vacation, right? But, okay. I've rattled on enough. Heading to the dealership now. Be there in 3 minutes, and hopefully they'll get me back on the road. This is not working. Oh my goodness. I don't know how people can just sit around and do nothing. It's boring, you know? And of course your mind is mean. You think all these thoughts. So I need to get back to work.
2,000 years later.
All right, everybody. We are about to say goodbye to Butte, Montana. Got my truck back. She's all ready to go. So that I don't rattle on, I'll try to just give you the short version of it. My crankcase filter thingy was absolutely nasty. And gunked up and grossed up. And they're supposed to be sending me pictures. I don't know if they're actually going to send me pictures. But it was nasty. So we had to do a cleaning on that. And that was kind of like a let everything soak overnight kind of thing. And that was $1,500. But that didn't fix the truck. And one of the codes that the truck had thrown was something to do with the knock sensor. And after they had done the cleaning, they hooked a gooseneck trailer to the truck to take it up the mountain pass to see if it would overheat. And the truck didn't even get down to the end of the road, which is the dealership's like a couple of miles off the interstate. And so they didn't even get down to the end of the road. Ooh, my traffic manager's called me. Excuse me. All right, I had to turn down that load. It was a load going to Washington, and it's a show unit, and so it had to be there at X amount of time. And I'm like, it's 2, 11, 20, 22. It's a little over a 2-day drive just to get back to Indiana. And then pick up the unit and go to Washington, and I just didn't have it in me to do. But they're going to keep me on the list for something else. So, where was I? What was I talking about? I was talking about the truck. after the cleanse and the truck, after the ECV, you know what? Anyway, that filter that sits on the top of the engine, after cleaning that, they hooked to a gooseneck. Didn't even get down to the interstate before it overheated, and they said, yeah, you need a knock sensor replaced. That was not cheap, guys. $2,200. So out the door, when they finally called me this morning and said your truck is ready, we're talking pretty close to $5,000. I didn't really have the money on account. I just got back from vacation, so I kind of had to dip into some savings big time. It's all right. I'm just glad to have my truck back. So now I'm still going to go back to Indiana. It's, yeah, like I said, 24-hour drive, so it'll take me a couple 3 days to get there. And we'll see what happens when I get back to Indiana. But driver error. Part of this is driver error because that filter that's on the top of the engine is supposed to be changed at 70,000 miles and then at 150. I didn't get that memo. And the person who used to work on my truck didn't tell me anything about it. And then also, as many times as I had my truck into the shop for work to be done, nobody ever mentioned it. I now know that on my dash, there is a readout that will come up and say perform service. That is what that is for. When my dash reading says perform service, it has to do with that CVR filter that's on the top of the engine. So I'm passing that information along to you so that maybe if it comes up, you will know. However, part of this is my fault also because that perform service message had been coming on my truck for quite some time, and I never took the time to go, I wonder what that means. Now I know. Now you guys know. All right. We haven't had breakfast yet. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We haven't had breakfast yet. So I'm out of here, guys. I'm heading back to Indiana. All right, everybody. I'm in Syracuse, Indiana. When I was leaving Butte, I realized that I was going to have to make arrangements for a Monday vet so that Squirt can get more pills. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on. Lady walking her dog. And so I called a vet and they said that they want to see Squirt and Chloe so that I can establish a new vet here, but they were willing to fill a prescription, which the vet in Montana gave me a paper copy so that I could give them to them. So when I got into town, I found my animal hospital and Sport's got pills. Enough to make it till the appointment. They still want to see them. The doc wants to see them so that they can get them established here, which I need a vet here in Indiana anyway because this is where I work out of. And I think I'm going to like this vet. They've got a cute little app that they use where you can keep track of all of the things that have to happen with the animal. And I think you can even reschedule, prescription refills. I don't know, but either way, we're all set with that. I'm just kind of waiting. I emailed my traffic manager, let her know that I need a load going south if you can, because my tax lady's in Georgia, and so I kind of need to get down there. I haven't filed my taxes yet, guys. I've been messing around with trying to get a copy of last year's tax return, and my tax lady. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I'm not going to put that in there. Anyway, yeah, I need to get down to my tax lady. Okay, sent my traffic manager an email. Oh wait, you already know that. So at this point, I think just good to go. I'm going to end this episode out so that I can get it all put together for you and get it uploaded. So thank you guys for watching. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention last night? While I was on the last hour of my trip to this area, I passed a transport driver. He didn't have placards on his truck, but you can tell from like the bumpers and the mud flaps that he's a transport driver. We waved and I went on. Then he passes me and he goes, so I roll my window down. He goes, you got a tail light out. I'm like, thank you. And then I ended up passing him again because of a stoplight. He rolls his window down so I can see he wants to talk to me. And he goes, he hollers, do you have a replacement bulb? I said, no, I'll have to get one. He goes, I'll change it for you if you want. And he called me by name, so I knew he knew who I was. He's like, because like when he first was messaging me, or when he first got beside me and I rolled my window, he goes, Deb, you got a tail light out. And I'm like, okay, he knows me. And turned out he's a Horizon driver. And he goes, yeah, this truck is all over Facebook. I said, yeah, I know, I do that on purpose. I plaster myself all over Facebook, and then I wonder, how do people know who I am? Anyway, he followed me to a truck stop and helped me. I mean, it was no big deal, but it was the kindness. I mean, I could have changed the bulb myself, but it was the kindness. You know, he's offering to help me. And so I got my tail light replaced. And the only other thing I got to do now is I need to find another power cord for my dash cam, because the wires are starting to show on one end and the dash cam doesn't stay on all the time. So that's my mission. So now that I've said all of that, now I can end this episode. Oh my goodness. Hey, we got to give credit where credit is due, right? So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode. And just remember, guys, it's all about the perspective.